the News Channel 5 network, this is Morning Line with Nick Barris.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on Morning Line. Thanks for joining us. I said that twice because I'm excited about our guest this morning. We're going to talk real estate. We're opening up the phone lines. And if you'd like to ask about the crazy Nashville market and beyond, we can talk about the surrounding counties with regard to where people are buying, what it's like for selling, how much money you need these days, whether you need a realtor, and all of these things. Nashville remains a very, very hot market. When I say Nashville, I'm talking about the Middle Tennessee area. And so we like to do these programs periodically because a lot of you may be thinking, well, gosh, what can I get for my house? And that's great if you can sell your house now for a big amount of money. The question is, if you choose to stay here, you're gonna have to buy another place, and things are more expensive as well. So the number is 737-7587 if you want to jump in, because we're talking this morning with, I think, a woman you're gonna be hard pressed, or man, anywhere, that knows more about the real estate market in this area than Christie Wilson. Good morning.
Nick, good morning.
I was excited because I'm talking to her about some building and some buying and selling that I'm doing before that, and she's such a anyway, she gives great advice.
Well, and he has a great story, always. Yeah. I mean, everything that you're doing, I'm going, really? That's awesome.
Bought some land, we're gonna build a little house.
That's great.
We've got to sell our house, and we're in Wilson County, and will the market hold up? So in general, I'm wondering, are there any slowdowns in the Middle or Nashville market area, or does it continue to pretty much still be on the upswing?
We're right now in a very stable spot.
Okay.
We have upswung. And now we are just in that stable.
But not falling back.
We're not falling back.
There's those rumors about, well, interest rate issues and where people are going to be buying. And you see other markets around the country, maybe it's slowed a bit. Now, I guess you're saying it's slowed here, but it's not going backward. It's just
normalized here. Okay. It's normalizing. And people want to say it's slowing, but we were just so crazy for 6 years. Right. I mean, crazy for a long time. So now as it's starting to normalize, people feel like it's slowing, but it's actually still much more active than it's ever been. Right? It's just still very active. There's still a strong demand. I feel like it's a much more balanced market. It's not a complete seller's market. It's a much more balanced market. And everything depends, too, on location and price points. Okay. You know, your over $2 million price point isn't as crazy busy as your $300,000 price point. Okay, that's right. That's right. So, and so people are still moving here. Yes. But more people moving here than leaving. That's correct. Correct. And is now Nashville still, the growth is insane down here. And do you deal with some of the condo sales and things like that? Some. They still keep building more buildings. I had a friend who just moved back downtown, and he wanted to have downtown living, and he loves it. But are the prices there still as crazy as they were for like an 800 square foot condo? Yes. So our most expensive condo towers are 1212 and 505. Okay. 505 there is at the corner of 5th and Church. Beautiful buildings, beautiful buildings. But several of those have sold well over $1,000 a square foot. Okay. So, I mean, they're impressive numbers. They're mind-blowing numbers because, you know, you start equating that to Chicago or something of that nature. Right. But not all condo high-rises are that expensive. Those are just the top of the heap there. Right. What about, like, for instance, behind us? I make my way back here sometimes to lunch, going over to the farmers market or beyond. Square. But yeah, the condos that have just kind of sprouted around the baseball stadium back here. Oh, in Germantown. In Germantown, right. What about, I was just curious, and we were talking about it the other day. I mean, I wonder how much some of these, and they look very nice, and there's a ton of them now. Yeah. What do those typically go for? Those are ranging, depending on square footage, of course. Okay. I've got one under contract right now for some clients at, where are we, 650? Okay, 650 it could be construed as a 3-bedroom, but the first bedroom's on that basement, the same level as the garage, or the first level. Right. So 2 to 3 bedroom, 3 bath, 2-car garage, rooftop deck. It's beautiful, and you have a beautiful view of downtown. Okay. The bigger the unit, the better the view, the higher the price. That makes sense. But and there are some, if you wanted to find a place there that was a little more affordable, there's still, like I said, all the buildings are new and they look nice, and they're walking distance to a lot of nice restaurants, plus the ballpark being there is kind of neat, I think. Can you find them for like $300,000 if it's smaller, or is it just no? They're all above that. Yep, they're all above that. Okay, I got to ask you this. There's so many, and I know a lot of people watching this are like, 300 seems like a lot, much less. Who the heck is buying these? I mean, are there young kids that mommy and daddy are giving them money? I'm sorry, I mean, out of school, I mean, who's making 800 grand a year? I mean, I don't get it. Honestly, it's people our age.
Okay, now they're
Those
going
young
into,
people are.
All right, okay, and they're not paying cash, obviously. They have mortgages, but I mean,
a lot of them are paying cash. So
wait, they're paying it off flat out right there because they sold something else.
Right,
Yeah.
they're so many of the people moved Williamson County, Wilson County, Sumner County, somewhere to raise their kids.
Okay.
The kids are in college or out of college, and now they want to be back in where the activity, the action, the restaurants, the coffee shops, all that. They're done with the suburbs. So I've found the majority of buyers that I've worked with and that my company has worked with are more of the 40 to 60-year-old.
Maybe I'm just a mutant, but I'm moving farther away.
Yeah. And a lot of people are doing that too.
And I understand what you're saying. It's exciting downtown, but the traffic, the crowd, and they're...
But once you're downtown, you're not fighting the traffic.
I know you're not.
You're walking.
And that's what you're into. But it's funny, I'm moving farther right now. I wanted to ask you this on a larger scale, just in terms of what people look at. You talked about schools sometimes, obviously medical, job, and all of that. But do you worry at all about some of the stories we see with regard to crime in Middle Tennessee, some of which, my friend, has gone national, and people see it? And we're known as Music City, and for a long time, a safe city. That narrative is changing.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying it's not still safe here, but there are areas at night I am afraid to go out in downtown Nashville, period. And if you're not, you're foolish. There are places that, and it's getting worse. And you hear the things about police morale and these police-involved shootings and, you know, the crazy nuts that were down there on the ATVs dragging that officer along Broadway in the middle of a crowded day on Saturday. And and I've watched it slowly, and I've talked to people saying, you know, Nashville is going to go from the it city to this city, if you know what I mean. If they don't crack down, are you hearing this?
Yeah, people talk about it all the time. I mean, I've changed my habits.
Okay.
I mean, I used to walk at night. I don't walk at night anymore, but.
You know, do you worry about that just as they look at that, or does anyone ask, well, is Nashville still a safe place to live? Which, again, I believe it is.
I believe it's still safe. I mean, you hear I mean, I watch you every morning, and I'm going, oh gosh, another shooting, another this, another, and it makes me crazy. I'm going, who are we?
Right.
Who and why is this happening? And who are these people committing the crimes? And yeah, it's very troubling. And I don't know what's.
I think it's a symptom of the growth.
It's
Christie.
a symptom of the growth.
And we are now becoming major metropolitan and drawing with what we get. We're having the crime problems you see in places like Chicago. Not quite there yet. We're not as big as Chicago, but it's the growth, I think. More people just means more crime.
Yeah, and honestly, I just think we're in a world where people feel like they can do whatever they want to.
Yeah.
And there's little consequence for action, and the poor police department, I feel like when there are consequences, they get thrown under the bus. And our police department, I think Metro Police Department is amazing. And I just want to see them more supported and loved on, because the police officers, oh my gosh, for what they get paid. I mean, talk about housing. Our police officers, our teachers, the people who really give it 120% every single day, who can't afford really to live on the salaries they make in these areas that we're talking about. And it's frustrating to me as a realtor and as a native Nashvilleian. I'm like, I want these people around me. You know?
No, I agree with you, 100%.
So I think I think there's a lot of issues at play. But all that being said, I think that's something that when corporations look at Nashville, they definitely look, that's a piece of it that they're looking at to relocate here. But I think the good factors so outweigh that relative to the population. Well, the interesting things, the safe things, the green space, the activities. I was reading an article about Nashville, and I love reading some articles about Nashville from somewhere else.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
I enjoy that too. What's the perception from elsewhere?
And the perception is, if you want to live a fun lifestyle, that's where you move. There's something all the time here
going on.
And I thought that was interesting. I've never heard of us being the fun city. You know, we're the it city, we're the music city, we're this city. But I love that they said we're the fun city, because we are a fun city.
Well, that's why people come and visit. It's why so many times on the weekends you see bachelorette and bachelor parties are here. Because like, what's a fun city we can go to and just have a great time for a weekend? It's here.
Well, I was down here for the SEC tournament.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
It was so nuts. And so I'm a Tennessee fan, hence my orange I'm wearing all week to support the Vols.
Good.
But I'm sorry, Vanderbilt fans, I love you too. Anyway, you know, when we beat Kentucky on Saturday, it was a group of UT fans. We were downtown, and we're like, oh man, that was such a good game. You know, so we were very, thank you for being in our city and supporting us. And then when Auburn, you know, cleaned our clock on Sunday, there was like 5 Auburn people at the place we were watching the game, and we said, man, y'all, that was a great game. You know, so we hate that we lost. So no one was mean or trying to pick a fight or anything like that. Where I've been in cities before during a sporting event, people, well, y'all, really, it's a game. But
no, I agree. No,
so I just think the friendliness and the I don't know. I just think there's so much more good here.
It's still, and we'll talk about this too. The jobs that are coming yesterday, Metro Council voted on that Amazon plan. And we know Amazon's coming, and there's some good, high-paying jobs, and they continue to come, and that's going to draw more folks in. We'll take a break. When we come back, if you're on hold, stay there. We'll get to your phone calls. I'm just talking in broad strokes with her, but if you have specifics where you happen to live, or you're thinking of moving, or if you're wondering about, you know, where to look these days to maybe find your best deals or vice versa, give us a call. Christie Wilson knows her stuff. We'll take a break and be back with more right after this.